Hey, listeners. Today I want to take you on a journey through a story you've heard 1,000 times, but from a perspective you've probably never considered. What if the story of Noah wasn't entirely literal? What if the ark, the flood, and even the Nephilim were actually metaphors for a quantum level reset? Stay with me. Let's go deep. We all know the story. God sees corruption in the world, chooses Noah, commands him to build an ark, loads up 2 of every animal, and floods the earth. But let's be real. Every single land and air species on one wooden boat, that's not logistically possible in the physical world. Not with the knowledge that we have today. And yet, the story persists. Why? Because maybe, just maybe, it was never meant to be read only with our eyes, but also with our inner vision. In quantum theory, reality is shaped by conscious energy, what some mystics and physicists alike have called the absolute. The absolute is infinite, unmeasurable, conscious, and still. Itzhak Bentov once described it as being like the deep sea, while our physical universe is just the choppy waves on the surface. Now think about Genesis chapter 1 verse 2 for a moment. The Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. In mystical terms, that's consciousness moving on potential, energy taking shape. To make something measurable, the absolute must first contain it. That's how the ark enters the picture, not as a boat, but as a container of frequency, a structure to preserve energy, consciousness, or DNA. So now, let's look at the flood again. Not as water, but as a reconstruction of physical reality, a cosmic reset. Let's go deeper. Genesis chapter 8, verse 1 says, God remembered Noah. That phrase, remembered, in Hebrew often implies reconnection, not simply recall. Now here's the quantum twist. What if Noah was given the knowledge to shift himself, his family, and a genetic blueprint of life into a parallel reality, one untouched by the flood, one closer to God, deeper into the absolute. Quantum research has shown that the human mind can access and remain within parallel states of consciousness, especially under altered conditions like meditation, trauma, or sacred knowledge. What if God's instructions weren't just about building a boat, but about entering the ark of consciousness itself? But that raises another question. If the flood wiped out everything, how did the Nephilim survive? Genesis chapter 6 verse 4 says, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days and also afterwards. Either their bloodline was preserved through Noah, as some esoteric traditions suggest, or they knew a technique of conscious preservation that humanity had not yet mastered. The book of Enoch even says that Noah was born looking more like the angels than a human. His face glowed. His eyes burned like the sun. Was he already half angelic? Was he already attuned to the vibration of the higher realms? And were the Nephilim, the offspring of angels and humans, already trained to return to the absolute while retaining their ego? A skill that to this day mystics strive to reclaim. So what does this mean for you? Maybe the ark is still real, but it isn't made of wood. Maybe it's your mind, your soul, your ability to shift your vibration and preserve your light, even when the world around you is flooding in chaos. You are the container. You are the vessel. You are the potential. The question isn't whether Noah's ark existed. The question is, can you remember the technique before the next wave hits?